Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another political episode. So, the 2023 elections were a complete disaster for Republicans. We're gonna have to explain why. Um, some of it is not necessarily their fault, like Kentucky. We kind of saw this coming, but we kind of underestimated Andy Beshear's popularity and basically Bashir's popularity overall in Kentucky and the polls ultimately. So let's dive into this video. So Andy Bashir ended up winning re-election, and we did predict he would flip some counties. He ended up flipping a lot. And this is pretty much the counties he won over here. He has basically carried over 70% of the population in Jefferson County. Same deal in Fayette County. So, yeah, so it looks like this is what's going on here. Uh, yes, and let's take a look at the polls. Uh, get a little refresher on what it was supposed to look like. All right, so the polls warned us that okay, it was probably a good year for Andy Bashir. Look at that. Um, in January, Andy Bashir was supposed to beat Daniel Cameron by 9 points. That didn't happen, and instead he beat him around 5 points. All right. Uh, Same deal in May. Although it showed Daniel Cameron a little bit better in another poll in May showing a kind of a toss up. So yeah, you'll see it kind of goes back and forth between 5% and just 10% in general. But you'll realize that there was not one single poll that had Daniel Cameron winning. And that ultimately, we knew right away that, yeah, Andy Bashir is probably going to win this one. Uh, so that is that. It looks like it was disappointing how well. I think honestly we knew this would happen. Um, 5 percentage points seemed to be appropriate. Um, and of course you wish that it could have been better. Ultimately, it could have been better. Um, Altogether, and that's understandable. So that is that for Kentucky. Let's talk about Ohio. So Ohio, we knew Ohio would go to the choice direction, right? We kind of knew what would happen in Ohio. Um, the abortion initiative, and I was kind of it kind of went for around 56%. It could have been worse. It could have been to 60%. Um, but yeah, it went to 56%. Compared to Ohio issue 1, let's see here. No, I don't want Arkansas, I want Ohio. Okay, so yeah, there was that ballot measure. Yes, Ohio issue 1. And this measure was kind of close. Around this, almost the same population. Same amount of people voted no for this. 57% of the population said no. Basically, in evaluating the standards to qualify for an initiative constitutional amendment and pass a constitutional amendment. And you'll see, yeah, the map looks kind of the same. You'll see that this county did go for this. They voted for no. They voted for yes. And they also voted for yes in the November ballot measure. So, yeah, ultimately, yes did prevail. They did do 56%, although, yeah, I think Democrats realistically officially mobilized the issue of abortion, and they can use this to their advantage 100%. So realistically, yeah, you gotta mobilize the issue also. This map almost looks completely a little bit the same. Well, no, you'll see areas like over here went for no. So yeah. Yeah, and as for the polling in this election specifically, 57% voted for this. Yeah, this was probably going to happen anyway. It could have been worse. 60% could have been much worse if this ballot measure could have been passed regarding the adding of the constitutional amendment to an abortion in the Ohio state constitution. So it really, but once again, a lose is a lose here, to be honest. But yeah, let's take a look at Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, did tell. We're kind of right a little bit with Pennsylvania. We did predict that the Democrat candidate in the Supreme Court election, Daniel McCaffrey, would win. And it could have been much worse. I know I've said this throughout this whole entire video too. You see the Democrat this poll in general suggesting that McCaffrey beat his opponent Caroline Carluccio by around 42% to 36%. Yes. But ultimately, there is no map. Ultimately, it turned out that Daniel McCaffrey defeated Carluccio by 53% to 46%. It could have, yeah, I know. It could have been the common ground poll that suggesting that McCaffrey wins by more than what he was supposed to, but instead he won by 53%. And but still, I think we knew that the once again the issue of abortion would be mobilized. I don't think it was mobilized as much in Pennsylvania as it was in Wisconsin. It really depends on the opponent who's also going to weaponize other issues. Also, like guns, Supreme Court issues, legalization issues in general, or crime, for instance. I think crime would be also a big one, also because Philadelphia, punishments for crime, more hard punishments when it comes to that. So that is Pennsylvania. Let's go up to Virginia. Now, Virginia was probably the last straw to make this year a bad year for Republicans in general. What went wrong? Okay, so Republicans supposedly we're supposed to hold the House of Delegates. They held the House of Delegates last year, I want to believe. Did they? No, not last year. They didn't have in 2021, they held the House of Delegates. In 2021. But however, Democrats managed to flip that House 51 by 51 seats to 48 seats. It was a huge disappointment. And it was for instance, yeah. And this is what kind of made this year a really bad year for Republicans in general. So 51 to 48. Yeah. And I think we've kind of forgot that. Okay, yeah, they didn't even update the map. I don't think they did, or is this actually the map? Yeah, I think we kind of forgotten that Virginia is a blue state. Although we did expect, with the wonderful leadership of Glenn Youngkin, his approval rating, that and his going out there, getting out and voting, and all that stuff, that this could have turned out much better. This could have, we could have kept the House of Delegates, as a result. So this was really a what went wrong sort of deal. So that was the Virginia House of Delegates. Let's take a look at the. I want to take a look at the Virginia Senate, and that was that we talked about that Republicans were supposed to supposedly flip. The Virginia Senate ended up being carried, it was back, I want to believe, in 2019, once again, that these last elections took place. You think, yeah, I personally think Glenn Youngkin would easily win the Senate in 2021, but that wasn't the case because these elections, they don't come in when it comes. Senators get 4 years in the state Senate as a result. So yeah, my map's being very slow here, but ultimately, this is the state Senate. It has not updated. Wikipedia is also disappointed. You'll see that Republicans went down. Well, actually, 21. They originally had 22 seats. Net worth kind of changed, but still. This is very upsetting. Also, this is the Senate. I think we did flip one seat, but that was not enough. Like, seriously, we could have done much better, over here in general. So, yeah, it's upsetting, ultimately. Upsetting and disappointing in general. So, anyway, what do you guys think about 2023? Are there some lessons learned? And will this impact us in 2024? I know that's a question that a lot of us don't want to answer because 2024 is the last straw, but will it impact us in 2024? Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next political episode.